Hello, my friends. How lovely to see you. Now, our first story of the day is called Shambler the Ogre. And it goes a little something like this. Once upon a time it was, my friends, that there lived in the middle of an enormous forest the biggest, grumpiest ogre in the whole wide world. Shambler was his name, and he was as tall as the tops of trees. In fact, that's what he ate, leaves and branches from the tops of trees. Where he lived in the middle of the forest, two paths met, one that ran north to south and one that ran east to west. And if anybody walked along those paths, they ran the risk of meeting Shambler the Ogre. The trees would start to move even though there was no wind about, and out onto the path would step Shambler, and he would take an enormous breath, and he would go, and anyone who heard him would go, woo, and go running back the way they came. That's how scary it was. But on the day of our story, a young woman called Elaine had to get from the east of the forest to the west very quickly. She didn't have time to go round the outside of the forest, a path that would take many days. And so she followed the trail through the middle. And as she came close to the centre of the forest, where the two paths met, the trees started to move, even though there was no wind. And sure as sure can be, out onto the path stepped Shambler the Ogre. And you know what he did. He took a deep, deep breath and went... Now remember, anybody else who'd ever heard this had squeaked in fright and run back the way they'd come. But not Elaine. Oh no, she wasn't frightened at all. She just stood there and she looked up at Shambler and she said, "Nope, not frightened, not even a bit of it. Why do you roar at people?" Shambler the Ogre looked down at her and took an even deeper breath and went... Which is why I only tell this story once a day. And Elaine stood there, looked up at him and went, "Nope, still not frightened. Come on, tell me, why do you roar at people? You don't eat people, you eat the tops of trees, we all know that." Shambler the Ogre took the biggest breath yet and went... "I'm so unhappy. I'm so unhappy." And great big tears started running down his face and falling down onto the ground. They were so big that they were splashing and getting Elaine wet. She said, "Stop it, stop, no, stop it, stop it. Now what's wrong?" Shambler said, "Well, you see, I've got this great big feet, and my left foot, when I pick it up and put it down, goes balumph kaloof. And my right foot, when I pick it up and put it down, goes kaloof balumph. So as I walk, it goes balumph kaloof kaloof balumph balumph kaloof kaloof balumph. And I've got such big heavy feet, and I can't dance, and I really, really, really want to be able to dance." "What?" said Elaine. You mean that's it?" "Yes," said Shambler. But you mean all these years roaring at people, and it's all been because you wanted to be able to dance. Yes, said Shambler. Well, why didn't you tell someone? Said Elaine. If you're upset by something, or so worried about something, if you tell someone, they can help you. I mean, look at me. I'm a shoemaker. I can help you. What you need is a pair of dancing shoes. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make you dancing shoes. Meet me back here at the crossroads tomorrow at midday, and we will make you a pair of dancing shoes. Well, the very next day at midday, Elaine was as good as her word. She arrived with 40 of her friends and neighbours. They got Shambler to sit down and put out his feet in front of him. And I have to tell you, my friends, these were very big feet. They were as tall as me and as far across as my arms are stretched out. But Elaine and her friends and neighbours were unperturbed, and they started to work. Some of them sewed together pieces of leather to make the uppers. Sew. And some of them started to saw pieces of wood to make the soles. Saw. And some of them started nailing the leather uppers to the wooden soles. Hammer. And so they worked. Sew. Saw. Hammer. Sew. Saw. Hammer. Sew. Saw. Hammer. And before the sun had gone down, they had made Shambler a pair of dancing shoes. The left one was half red and half blue, and the right one was half green and half yellow. Shambler stood up and went, "These are very good. I like these." And he picked up his left foot and he brought it down and it went bloof clumph. And he picked up his right foot and he brought it down and it went clumph baloof. Shambler started to cry again. He went, "Oh no, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked." And great big teardrops were dropping down on the ground and splashing, and everybody was getting soaking wet. Elaine said, No, stop, we're all getting wet, stop crying. We're not done yet. We've brought a wizard. Sit back down, put your feet out. And out from the trees came a wizard. He was most assuredly a wizard, from the top of his purple pointy hat to the ends of his purple curly shoes. He took out his big book of spells and he began to look. He went, "Oh, let me see. Oh, those are very big shoes. Oh, this is going to take an awfully big spell. Let me see now. A spell for making an onion drop on your enemy's head. No. A spell for turning people's belly buttons purple. No. A spell for making things that were once heavy very light. Oh, yes. Now, I have to tell you, my friends, this is going to have to be a really big spell. So I'm going to need some help, please. What I need you to do is think of your favourite word. Now, it could be a favourite food, or it could be the name of a pet, or it could be just a word you like the sound of as it trips off your tongue and leaps out of your lips. I'm going to say vegetarian sausages. Have a think for a moment. See if you can think of a word. Now, have you got one?
Yes.
Good. Now, all together, we're going to say our words after 3, okay? So I'll say 1, 2, 3, and then we've all got to say our words. Lots and lots of energy to get that spell going. So, are you ready? 1, 2. Don't forget, you need to be very loud, okay? Good, right. 1, 2. Does everybody understood what we need to do? Yes, good. Excellent. 1, 2. You at the back. Have you got? Yeah, yes. Good. Excellent. Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Vegetarian sausages! Well, my friends, I think that's done the trick. 2 enormous circles of light came down out of the sky, and one went over Shambler's left foot, and one went over Shambler's right foot. Shambler stood up, and he picked up his left foot, and he brought it down, and it didn't make a sound. Shambler picked up his right foot and brought it down, and nary a noise did it make. Shambler looked down and went, I like these. These are very good shoes indeed. Oh, yes, they are. And he started to dance. He danced to the left and he danced to the right. He danced forwards and he danced backwards. He danced for a minute, an hour, a day, a month, a year. In fact, my friends, to tell you the truth, Shambler the Ogre hasn't stopped dancing from that day to this. So, if you're out and about near some trees and you see those trees start to move, even though there's no wind about, keep your eye open. Because it is just possible that you are about to meet Shambler, the biggest, happiest, dancing ogre in the whole wide world. Now that, my friends, was the story of Shambler the Ogre. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, you may want to draw a picture of Shambler, or the shoes, or the wizard, or Elaine. Please do come back and join me for more stories at 2:15 and at 3:45. And in between those times, there will be many, many fine shows for you to enjoy. So I hope you'll keep watching throughout the day with us here at Hastings Storytelling Festival. Thank you very much indeed.